camera. Okay, well, sorry to interrupt your training here. I'm trying to understand what it's all about, but I'm kind of technical, but that's way past my skill set as well too. I've got some folks watching on here, David, as well. So you know what this is all about? Briefly. Okay. All right. How many of you are veterans? Served. Okay. Active duty guard. All right. And David here is, excuse me, David and Adam here. But anyway, Adam is a specialist with the North Dakota National Guard. And one of the programs that we have within the Guard and Reserve, I'm with the Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve, which is 50 years old this year. And the reason why it came about is when we went to the all volunteer military and did away with the draft, now we were having folks come into the military from the Guard and Reserve, and which would they be serving 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks during the summer, and oh, by the way, they might be deployed. And since Desert Storm, the global war and terror, we rely upon the National Guard and Reserve, Army Guard, Air Guard, Air Force Reserve to be mobilized, and sometimes for up to a year at a time. And especially in the North Dakota National Guard, we have had probably quite a few soldiers that have been deployed 5 times. That's 5 years out of their life, leaving their families, etc. And one of the things that we look at is when they deploy, you were active duty, right? Okay, so active duty, your boss was the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. The Guard and Reserve, they're working for a company like Siemens here, and they have to leave for up to a year and deploy. And that's why it's important we recognize employers and agencies that allow that to happen. What we do is we follow Department of Labor law that they have to let the service member go, bring them back in their pay grade and all that as well too. But we know that, have you been deployed yet? Yes. Okay, twice. And where have you been deployed to? Florida. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. That's yeah. So anyway, that's so when they deploy, it puts gentlemen like David in a situation where he now has to fill that position for military training, 1 week to 2 or 3 or 4 months, or up to a year deployment. And we recognize the burden it places upon the company and upon yourself as well, trying to fill those positions. And so specialist, I'm gonna make sure I get the names here, specialist, sorry about that, folks. Yeah, Prince, okay. Put in this award. It's called the Patriot Award. And it's the very first award that goes to, not to the employer, the company, but it goes to the supervisor of Adam here. And that was you, David. So he put you in, and the narrative explains a little bit about why he did that as well too. And so that's extremely important as well. Recognize letting him have time off. Maybe if he's deployed, calling his family, making sure they're involved in the company, picnics and all that as well too. So anyway, so what I want to do is give you this award here on behalf of Adam and the Employer Support in the Guard and Reserve. And it says, Office of the Secretary of Defense, Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve, ESGR, recognizes David Furrow for Siemens Gamesa Renewable Energy as a patriotic employer for contributing to national security and protecting liberty and freedom by supporting employee participation in America's National Guard and Reserve Force. And this is an award that's given just to you, to be shown placed wherever you want as well too, and recognize you for what you do on behalf of all the employers that are employees that are Guard and Reserve members within the company. Do you know how many you have within the company that are Guard and Reserve? Oh, company? 100, 1,000. Yeah, in the company, in the area. Oh, within the area about 5. Fear 5, but on the company, it's up. Okay, and where's the company located on? Florida is a big. Okay, so okay, and you're saying that there's a lot of Guard Reserve across nationwide. Nationwide, okay. Jeanette, we'll have to take into consideration. I got someone online here because that's might be something for additional award for the company as well. Sue. So okay, so let me put this down right here, and I'm gonna have to give this to you, David. And appreciate it. Come on over here. I know that We don't have anybody taking pictures, but we're actually online here. Yeah. Okay, great. Actually on live here on Zoom, and we have some of the folks on Zoom that are watching as well too. Zoom has changed our whole life of doing things too. So, but anyway, so let's go ahead and shake hands again here and just hold that up. And if you can send that to me, pretty great. And I got a letter here from Delton Steele, who was right on the phone on the right there, and has a letter for you, Mr. Furl, on behalf of him, and also from our national ESGR chairman as well. And then what we're going to do here later is something that is called a statement of support. And it's the 7 seals that are here representing all 7 branches of the military where we have Guard and Reserve. And by signing this, it recognizes the Guard Reserve are essential to the strength of our nation and the well-being of our communities. And in the highest American tradition, the patriotic men and women of the Guard Reserve serve voluntarily in an honorable and vital profession. They train to respond to their community or country at time of need. They deserve the segment of every support of every segment of our society. When we take a look at the Guard, especially the Guard, we have 2 bosses. We have the governor calls us out for snow removal, not hurricanes here, but across the U.S. And so we can serve in that capacity, but we serve under the auspices of the president as well, calling us up. And in North Dakota has a high propensity of military folks, because we're some of the people serving our 3rd, 4th generation serving as well. And so by signing this, we fully recognize, honor, and comply with the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act, or USERRA. The company is very familiar, the HR department. We will provide our managers and supervisors with the tools they need to effectively manage those employees who serve in the Guard and Reserve. We appreciate the values, leadership, and unique skills service members bring to the workforce, and will encourage opportunities to employ Guardsmen, reservists, transitioning service members, and veterans. And we will continually recognize and support our country's service members and their families in peace, in crisis, and in war. We'll sign this a little bit later, but that's a statement that the company adheres to as well. And knowing the company with hundreds of service members serving, you stand a true testament that you fully believe in what the military is doing as well too. And the gentlemen out here who have served as well, please, thank you for your service as well on that too. So, Delton, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great, Rob.
Let me just turn it up here just really quick here. Can you, okay, how's that? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. How am I coming in?
Okay, so this is Delton Steele. He's in Minnesota. And so just take a few words and talk to these 2 gentlemen here.
Well, I'll be more than happy to do that. And it's great to be here with both of you and your whole team there this morning. And I'll try and be a little bit brief, but I've got to do my duty as well as the state chair of the North Dakota Employers Board of the Guard and Reserve and the ESGR, as Rob had pointed out before. But we at ESGR, we have over 3,000 volunteers throughout the nation that do what we do, and which is, number one, have a lot of fun presenting companies, supervisors, and the nominators with these awards, to recognize outstanding support. And that comes to really the heart of what we do. We also provide free ombudsman services in case there is a conflict between an employer and a guardsman who needs to go on deployment. But in North Dakota, I will tell you that is very, very rare. Our employers are fantastic supporters of our Guard and Reserve. And the other thing we do is we educate. We educate employers, and we educate service members of their duties and rights and responsibilities under the USERRA laws that were passed way back in 1994. And as Rob said earlier, we are excited this year. This is our 50th anniversary. We are a Department of Defense program. So we're all proud to wear this emblem here, which is the Department of Defense emblem. And again, we work for free. So we think we provide a pretty good value back to our nation for supporting service members and their employers. But I would be very remiss if I didn't go back here just for a second and say, Adam, first of all, thank you, sir, for taking the time to make this nomination. The awards that we do primarily start with the service member. Without you taking the time to go online, fill out that that nomination form, we can't do our job very well. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for taking the time to do that, Adam, and thank you for your service and for your other veterans that have served with, that are in the room with you there today. Thank you so much for all that you do to make sure that we sleep well at night. David, congratulations to you, sir. Great job. Thank you for supporting Adam and your other service members that you may have with you there. And this just goes to show and speaks to the culture within your company for supporting Guard and Reserve members. We know, based on the number of deployments, certainly over the last 20 plus years, it's been a big demand on the service members because, as Rob said, it's not 2 weeks and 2 days a month anymore. Continual training, long deployments, whether it's in Florida or wherever it is, you know, it's a long deployment. It still means you have an employee gone that you've got to try to make work within your organization. And we couldn't be happier than to be able to present you with this Patriot Award, David, and your organization. So again, as state chair of the Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve in North Dakota, I just say, awesome job. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Look, hopefully forward to meeting you one of these days in person, but glad we have technology because it was about 19 below here this morning, about 5 a.m. And it's warmed up to 14 below here at my house. So anyway, Rob, if we have time, I'll turn it over to Paul Bonicelli, who's also a member of our awards committee. He's a lot more eloquent than I am. So I'll turn it over to you, Paul. Go ahead.
Gee, I've been called many things. Eloquent? Okay. I'll go tell my family that quickly. Well, just recalling, I just want to share, recalling my personal experiences as an employer years ago, I remember well how challenges encountered with associates who had scheduled changes frequently would really mess things up for my day. So I greatly admire what Siemens is doing, and particularly David Furrow for what he's doing in terms of making and working around the challenges of having a service member, a National Guard member in the employment of Siemens. And I am certainly honored to be part of this important ceremony. To Adam, thank you for your service of country. And David, thank you for your sacrifices and love of country also. As a footnote, I took the time, just a minute, to go to Siemens' website. My goodness, all of us from ESGR need to do this. This is an incredible company, especially when I saw a very large boat that touted some installation processes that are incredible, installing wind power energy in the middle of the ocean, it appeared, in 1 day. In 1 day, they install these huge machines. Now, in North Dakota, I would assume you're building and engineering wind turbines, if I'm correct on that, in the prairie. That alone seems a challenge. But to see what your company is doing, and then reflect on what it is doing also to support the National Guard, thank you. As a volunteer of the Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve, I am proud to be part of this ceremony. Thank you for your time, and to all present also. Thank you.
Zay and Rob, we had a couple other folks. I didn't have my screen on expand here, and we had a couple other. We have my state vice chair, Dave Johnston, who's in Fargo, and another member of our awards committee, and a retired Guard member, Jody Von Baldick, is on. And I should mention, we called Dave, Navy Dave. He was in the Navy Reserves, retired at the rank of captain. So I know it might be tough, you Army guys, to have to maybe listen to Dave, but hey, Dave, why don't you say a few words and we'll turn it over to Jody if we have just a couple more minutes.
Okay, I know this has been going along. I've been on a conference call since 9:55, so I got in here a little late, but congratulations to the winners of the Patriot Award and Rob Keller. One outstanding job that you do. I really appreciate hearing from you, and looking forward to working with Dave here in Fargo. But, Seaman, I hope you're not installing wind towers today, because at minus 42 below, I don't know what it would be like. And along with a 32-mile wind, It's been absolutely horrible here in Fargo the last 4 days. So I've been snow blowing and having a lot of fun. But good to see everybody this morning. Congratulations to all, and thanks to the employers. Really do appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll just
Jody,
take
go ahead.
Okay, I'll just take a few minutes. I think the three gentlemen ahead of me took more than our time, so I'll be short, but they had a lot of good things to say. So thank you, Adam, for taking time to make this submission and recognizing your employer. And David, thank you for your support of Adam and all your fellow service members in your organization. Thank you again. Great job.
And I'd be remiss if we didn't thank Jeanette Fetch. Jeanette is our one paid staff member that we have that supports all of us in North Dakota. But Jeanette, thanks for lining this up. And boy, it sounded like you guys, Adam and David and all the crew there, sounds like you're going through some heavy duty math back there. I was thinking, wow, you're stretching my algebraic ability here on a Wednesday morning. But anyway, Rob, I'll turn it back to you. But thanks. Great to see all of you today.
Thanks. I just want to say on behalf of Siemens Gamesa and you all and our team here, thank you for this award. It's definitely a team effort anytime one of our vets get deployed, and we all support them. So we all have the back.
Thank you. There's just one thing. It's not short, but when I get the text message or the phone call to I gotta go, the first person I call is my wife. I got to convince her that it's going to be fine. But then the next person I call, it's going to be Furrow. Now, I've had to make that phone call twice now with Furrow. And each time it's, what do you need? There's no, oh man, this is going to be tough. We're going to have to replace you for a couple weeks or months or however long. It's just, what do you need? Do you need us to get you there? Do you need anything from us? Need time off? What do you need? So that's really the main reason why I submitted him for this award, because it was just no questions asked other than what do you need? How can we help? So that's just was really awesome to hear that.
Okay, Adam, I want to turn around and just see the entire group here that's been watching as well. I just really appreciate you guys, and thanks for bearing with